5 seconds of game time.
All right, good morning, Ultimate fans from across the country. We are live at the Ivor Dent Sports Park in Edmonton, Alberta. This is the Canadian Ultimate Championships. Kicking us off in the juniors division today, we have a 8 versus 9 matchup. This is Mischief versus Aera. Your broadcasting crew today, we have myself, Kevin Underhill, and with me in the booth is Colin Medill. Colin, how's it going today?
Doing great here, Kevin. Just sat through a very inspiring opening ceremonies. Players seem to be very keen and ready to go. And there is our opening horn, so the game should be starting at any time.
Colin, as an observer yourself, maybe we could talk a little bit about what took place just before the game. We had a meeting with the captains and coaches and the observers. Maybe just in 30 seconds, can you take us through what they were going over in that meeting?
Yeah, so most of these players at the junior level, they've probably never played with observers before unless they've played at CUCs in previous years. So they'll be going through what observers do. The important thing to know is that observers are not referees. They are mostly here to maintain the spirit of the game. Other than things like to do with time or lines, the players still have to make all their calls. But if they can't resolve it on the field, they have the option of going to the observer, who will make a binding decision for them.
Well, that's good to know. And it appears that Mischief is going to start on defense. A small gust here coming left to right on your screen. Not too much that these players won't be able to handle this morning. And we're just about to get going. That's number 27, Leanne Campbell, with the first pull of the tournament. And for those viewers,
line drive to pull.
For those viewers that are just joining us, this is the Canadian Ultimate Championship 2016, live from the Ivor Dent Sports Park in Edmonton, Alberta. This is Aera in blue versus Mischief in white, and the game has just gone underway. Let's take in on the action.
And it looks like Mischief has come out trying to play a rabbit wall zone, hoping to use that upwind for Aera to make some turnovers.
Reddick with the disc on the close side. Floats one up. That's LaRoche with the disc. Number 14 in blue. Hits a dump. Deschênes with the disc. Swings it all the way across. Nice grab. That's number 15, Julia Bisson. Disc on the far side now. Aera pressing. Mischief has switched to a person-on-person defense. Upline cut. Looked away. Oh, and a
nice
great layout grab. Florence Deschênes, that's one of the returners from this Aera team, looking to quarterback her offense. She breaks the force to the far side, and that's going to connect for the goal right off the bat. Barbara Reddick
with the score.
So that's, you can see right away, that's Florence Deschênes breaking the mark on a big backhand around to Barbara Reddick for the goal. That's 1-0 Aera leads against Mischief. Colin, what do you think? Mischief flashed a little bit of a zone and then switched to person-on-person coverage. How do you think Aera took care of that?
Aera's handlers looked to just be very calm, very patient. They took their time. They used their dumps when they needed to, and just patient. And the thing that rabbit wall zone wants you to do is they want you to throw it over top. They want to get into the wind and have the chance for their mids and their deep to make a D. But Aera did just a great job of marching down the field. They got lucky with the one nice layout, but patience on this on that sort of zone will win every time.
And you talk about that layout. That's Florence Deschênes. She's a solid returner from last year's Aera squad. They have 10 returners in total. Which is a great sort of base to build your team off of. They lost a few of their, what we like to call, superstars in the game, most notably Anushka Beaudry and Nina Prevost. Both were great players for the team last year, but now, the opening is there for players like Deschênes and Jean-Jacques to sort of make a statement and take over that sort of star role.
It's just the nature of the junior game, really, there, Kevin, is that, once they turn 18, they've got to move to adults. So there's always the next line coming up, and that's really big for the development programs that these rosters have.
And that's Jean-Jacques with the pull. Disc on the far side, swung to the middle.
It's Catherine Lee.
Far side. This is just straight person-on-person defense from Aera. Broken force shot to the inside. Disc on the far sideline. Out to the flats. A small upwind here for Mischief, but nothing that they can't handle. There's an upline cut. Disc still on the far side. They're having trouble breaking the force. They're just moving it up the open side now. Not many options. She goes over the top with the hammer. Connects.
Great catch there by Joey Liu.
Joey Liu wants a stack in the end zone. And she shoots it over top of the stack. Great defense.
Oh, a great second catch.
That's Joey Chung. Cleans up the garbage in the back of the end zone. And here we are, 1-1. Mischief just cashing in on a deflected disc.
Mischief may have found their four-leaf clover on that point. They had two swilly throws they managed to come down with. But sometimes if you have that eye for the disc, you can just get there in time, make the play.
And here we are in the first game of the day, and you might expect a little bit of morning jitters, but these teams have come out and delivered 2 crisp O points with a couple nice grabs on either side. 1-1. Mischief to pull from the upwind end zone.
It's a great point too, Kevin, and that being that this is just the first game of the tournament, these two teams come in being seeded 8th and 9th. So if all the seeds hold form, this game here is for the last spot in the quarterfinals. So both teams know it's very important to come out and ready to play.
Absolutely, Colin. And we have coaches Eugene Wong and Veronica Ng there providing a little instruction to their Mischief troop. You know, both teams look solid. On the other side, we've got Coach Tulia Pelado instructing her offensive unit there in blue. That's the Aera squad. Now, we talked a little bit about Aera missing some of their stars from last season, having them move on. And same thing goes for Mischief. Part of this BC program is they graduate players up to the next team in the tier. So they're always working with a new batch of girls. But, you know, after a crisp-looking O point to start, it looks like things are underway. Deschen with the disc in the middle of the field. Surveying, she's facing that same zone we saw in the first point. Swung out to the sideline. Ooh, and there's the game's first turnover, just a bit low, and Mischief has a shot to break. They're only at the brick mark, and they've got time. Oh, and they give it right back. Turnover. There's those morning jitters that we thought we might have seen in the first point, but they showed themselves in the third.
Mischief comes right back with the rabbit wall zone.
Oh, and a great saving catch
Got the
there.
throw they wanted, but Reddick made a great bit on the disc. First to the disc.
Swung it out to the far sideline. Aera surveying. It's going to be tricky to go over the zone in the wind, so they're going to need players coming from all angles. Nice breakthrough. Lacombe with the disc. Oh, and she goes right over the top.
Big shot. Oh. Now, those are tough discs to catch. They're coming away from the body. So to be able to bring those ones down, it takes just that little bit extra timing.
On a huge huck. 75% down the field.
Tiffany Wu with the grab.
Right on the goal line, not in. Right back to Wu. And Mischief gets the first break of the game. They lead 2-1.
Now, Tiffany Wu with the grab there. For those of you that are familiar with Ultimate, especially Ultimate in Vancouver, she is the little sister of Darren Wu, player on the Vancouver Riptide, Furious George, and the viral sensation from the under-20s 2 years ago when he made that sick sky grab on Universe Point to beat the States for the gold medal.
Showing that it really does run in the family there. Wu striking deep right off the turnover and getting rewarded for it. A little give-go for the goal there. 2-1 for Mischief. You know, we talk about British Columbia Ultimate. We had a chance there in the last break to discuss it a little bit. But, you know, as we were saying, there's sort of a tiered system in the Misfit program, and there's multiple teams. So you have these girls that have played juniors for a couple years now, but not necessarily all together or not necessarily with this team in particular. So, you know, we had a small discussion with Victoria Lamb, one of the coaches from Mischief, about, you know, how do you get chemistry going. And she said it's been handy that some of the players have played in sort of clusters growing up together. So they may play either high school together or they may have played in some of the other club systems in BC. And they move up, you know, tier by tier to this group. So,
and she also made the big point, too, is that all the, you know, everyone in the Misfit system, which Mischief is a part of, they all play the same systems. So once the team player does graduate up to the next level, they don't have to learn whole new offensive sets, whole new defensive sets. They can just step in seamlessly with the new players. So while chemistry is important, they at least don't need to learn the whole new playbook.
All right, let's get back to the action. This is Denis with the disc on the close sideline. Swings it to the middle. Jean-Jacques all the way across. Right through the middle. That's a zone breaker if I've ever seen one.
It's Roxanne Godert.
Back to Jean-Jacques. Got it in the middle. Stable handler. Through the middle to Godert.
Godert again.
Nice shot all the way up the field to Michaud. Another returner from this Aera squad right on the goal line. Back to Jean-Jacques.
Good patience being shown here by Aera, not forcing one in there. And it
there
pays
it
off
is.
as they get the goal.
Nice steady downwind point through the zone. And that's Jean-Jacques with the goal, passing it to number 20, Roxanne Godert. And Godert going every other there with Jean-Jacques. And sometimes that's what it takes. It's just a few players to take over a point, run the give-go, run the system through the zone, and then capitalize when you get to the goal line.
Yeah. The Mischief wall there just got a little bit loose. It got broken up through the middle. Godert made a good job of finding that space in the middle of the field. And once it was there, it was just wide open.
A note about Aera. Last year at the 2015 CUCs in Winnipeg, they were seeded third. They've dropped to the 8th seed this season, and I think they probably want to take exception to that a little bit here, showing that their 10 returners with a sort of new cast of solid rookies are here to play, and they've got a little bit of an upwind here to face, but I'm sure they're looking to get this break back right away.
And part of the reason why they may not have had that big seed is that they were actually the only team to come out of Quebec, so they didn't have the regional performance for the tournament organizers to base their decision off of. So they may have had some other tournaments where they played some of the Ontario teams, but they haven't had the recent games to really show the tournament organizers that they were worthy of their seed.
That's right. Aera had a chance to face off against a couple of the Ontario teams at the No Borders tournament, where they dropped a Universe Point Thriller to Wicked. That's the team out of Ottawa, and struggled a bit against the Toronto team. Nonetheless, with the 8 seed, just like Colin, you said a few moments ago, this essentially, right off the bat, is a battle for who's going to make it into the quarterfinals if everything holds seed. And here we go, Mischief coming downwind. Oh. And a casual drop there by number 10, Kristen Lee. And then they throw a zone right away. Deschênes with the disc to the middle. All the way around. Good swing, good dump swing.
Julia Bisson.
Back around. Poirier with the disc. Goes straight up the field. Nice shot there. Connects with Pepin.
Stuck on the sideline here, trying to reset to the middle. Successfully gets it to Poirier.
Mischief looks like they're switching. Sends it, and that is going to connect for the goal. Poirier finds the upwind end zone and delivers a dime to the corner.
And took advantage of that upwind to just sort of keep the disc floating up there. If it was downwind, that disc would have been floating with the back of the end zone with nowhere close to receiver.
And they get the upwind break right back. Aera with their star-studded cast of Deschênes and Poirier moving the disc up the field. That is just crisp offense off the turn. Mischief going to recalibrate, and they got to face an upwind here.
So again, we're here at the Canadian Ultimate Championships at Ivor-Dent Sports Field in Edmonton. Junior girls division. Score is Aera 3, Mischief 2.
And if you're just joining us, Aera is in blue on the left-hand side of your screen right now, and Mischief on white with the purple shoulders. And I think it was pretty calm during the opening ceremonies, as you could see by the flags just being a little bit limp during the ceremony, but the wind has picked up over here at Ivor-Dent Sports Park. It's a massive, massive, pretty much brand new facility. It was started seating in the 2 or 3 years ago, and slowly over the course of the last couple of years has really stepped up. And I think it opened last year, and so this is just a pristine playing facility, probably some of the best sports parks in the country.
It's the best facility for Canadian Ultimate Championships I have seen.
Aera pulling from left to right. They're coming downwind. Mischief has an upwind O-point here. Let's see what they can do about it.
Oh, and the quick turn away. Just didn't have that eye contact. Cutter was going one way. Throw came the other.
Jean-Jacques picks it up. Looking to capitalize on the downwind end zone.
And the turnover comes right back. That was Juliette Denis, wasn't able to hold on to it.
Mischief has a chance to settle themselves and attack this upwind end zone again. It looks like standard person-on-person flick force defense here. Oh,
And
they're
the
going to go
lefty
straight away.
backhand.
Can't connect. That was Wu striking deep again. We'll watch out for that all day if she's going to be striking. Connected on the first break of the game, and there she is striking again, just couldn't quite connect.
Mischief maybe learning from their zone D that's been broken. They've switched back to a person-on-person.
That's Denis with the disc on the short sideline. Oh, and a hand block. That's number 24 on Mischief.
Catherine Lee put the disc back into play for Mischief.
Swings it to the middle. Wu. Wu with the disc. Surveying. Not much upfield.
Must be getting late in the stall count now.
Gets a relief valve there. That's number 27, Leanne Campbell. Campbell surveys. And there's the... Oh, no.
Looked like a contact call was made.
Oh, and great way to hang on there. That's number 6, Catherine Lee with the goal. And Mischief rights the ship a little bit and finds the upwind end zone and gets right back on track.
That's right, Kevin. Tied the game back up at 3-3. Maybe they learned that their zone wasn't working too well, went to the person-on-person, were able to get a quick turnover, punch it back in with great patience in the end zone.
I think as the day progresses here, Colin, we're going to be seeing a little bit more wind, just based off the last day or two that we've been here. It's doing field walkarounds. The mornings are generally being pretty calm, but in the afternoon, the wind starts to pick up, makes it a bit more challenging for players. So, these Mischief and Aera girls are trying to make it happen when they can here before fighting off any sort of severe winds. This is a nice, calm, upwind end zone, very accessible, as both teams have showed by, delivering darts up into the upwind end zone for goals. Now, we had a chance to connect with Aera coach Corinne Massé before the game, and she talked a little bit about the departure of a few stars and also the sort of makeup of this new squad. And she talked about last year being sort of a handler-driven team, but this season, more of a cutter, attacking, sort of upfield group has sort of taken over. And so watch them to be, striking and trying to use the deep space, and their few handlers, Deschamps, Jean-Jacques, looking to attack.
So just what happened there was Mischief was offside. It looked like their puller stepped across the goal line, and the result of that, first time, it is a warning, and so they'll have to re-pull. On subsequent offsides, if they are the pulling team, the receiving team will get to put the disc in at midfield, which is a huge advantage. So Mischief has got their one warning for the game out now, and next time they will have to give up field position.
There's Joy Chen with the pull. Pardon me, that's Emma Young.
Elise Lacombe looking for a dump.
There's Deschamps.
Four-man cup.
Poirier with the disc. Deschamps on the far sideline. Pipes it right through. That's 14. Karel LaRoche with the disc. LaRoche to the middle. That's Lacombe. It goes right away over the top. That's going to work. Number 27, Reddick. She's been active all game and just cashes in with her first goal of the game. Score is 4-3 for Aera. They're wearing blue against Mischief in white. This is the first game of our live stream coverage partnered with sportscanada.tv. You can check us out Monday all the way through to Sunday. We have 6 days of packed coverage. This is the Canadian Ultimate Championship live from the Ivor Dent Sports Facility here in Edmonton, Alberta. Check us out at ultimatecanada.tv. Again, for this first game, I'm Kevin Underhill, joined in the booth with Colin Medill. If you want to get in touch with us and give us some pointers on the game or anything that you're seeing, or just generally give us some awesome feedback, you can hit me up on Twitter, KevUnderhill89. Send us a message. Let me know if you guys want a shout out. Right now, we've got Aera winning 4-3 in the first game of the tournament. And Colin, we're actually seeing some very clean offense from these junior women's teams. It's the 8th and 9th seed battling it out here in the morning, and I think they know the importance of this game, and it appears Mischief has taken a timeout.
Yeah, it does look like Mischief's taking the timeout there. Each team gets 2 timeouts per half, and halftime comes at 8. So given that it's 4-3 right now, good chance just for the coaches to bring them all in. Players have gotten a few points on their feet, and just give the reminders on what they're doing well, and a few areas of improvement, and give the star players a bit of a break.
Yeah, no doubt. And, we talked a little bit about Aera's star players last year, but with their departures, we've seen already in this game Florence Deschênes take over as sort of a center handler role. My question is to you, Colin, how do you think they're going to be able to handle if they're going to try to ride, Deschênes, Dranjak, Poirier into 6, 7, 8 games this tournament? How are their star players going to be able to handle the load?
That's an important point to come up there, Kevin, is that the Canadian Ultimate Championships it's a game of attrition. You need to have a deep roster to go well. You will be playing 3 games a day each day. So to become the champion, you're going to be playing your 9th game on Wednesday evening. So if you're not using your entire bench early in the tournament, your star players are going to get worn down. And if you're watching the tournament last year, you definitely saw that on some of the teams that they were able to hold on. But the deeper teams like your Alphas, your Toros, your Mofos definitely had the deeper bench and were able to come through and pull out those tight games.
Absolutely, and that's something we talk about as you get down a little bit in the later seeds, the 8th, the 9th seed, as we're watching right now. They might not have quite as deep of a roster, but their stars are just as good.
Aera came out with the zone to start off.
It's the first time we've seen the Aera zone. It looks like it's just a quick transition here.
Generally, their strategy that their coach, Corinne Massa, was telling us was that they'll play zone for a couple points and then melt quickly to a man, which is what we saw there. And it did create a little bit of confusion. They created the turnover, but unfortunately, they just gave it right back.
Oh, and they go right to the bank. Chen tracking it down and just can't. Chung tracking it down, just can't make the play on it. Dranjak will pick it up and sort of settle down. Have a chance for another break here. Oh, and there's a strike right away.
Mischief has gone back to their person-on-person defense.
There's number 12, Penelope Robert. Dranjak shooting straight to the end zone. And that's a goal. Number 10, Furlong with the goal.
And shows a good bit of sportsmanship there by helping up Leanne Campbell up off the ground after she made a nice bit on the disc.
And there's another break, and that's the downwind break that they've been dying to get. Now, Colin, we talked a little bit about sportsmanship. We see there the Aera player helping up a player. Ultimate generally relies on a pretty high degree of spirit of the game, sportsmanship, to be able to operate. But we do have observers in the orange on the sidelines here. Maybe you could tell us a little bit about their role and how active they hope to be in games.
Right. Well, we as an observer, we hope to be not seen, not involved. If it's a game like this here where there haven't been many fouls, if any, good spirited, good shows of sportsmanship, the observers, the goal is to let the players play. What will then happen, though, is sometimes you'll get games, maybe a little bit later in the tournament, where the marks get a little bit tighter, they start getting a little bit bumpier, you're grinding for every point, and in that case there, tensions can start building up. So observers have a few mechanisms in place to make sure that the fair play maintains, and to on some of the contested foul calls is to take the blame away from arguing at each other and let the observer making the call and just easing that stress off of the players.
Absolutely, and I think last year we saw them do a phenomenal job, and I can expect the same from Team Orange this year, I'm sure. And we'll get right back into the action. Mischief with the disc. That's Mona Ooh with the disc on the sideline. Swings it to the middle. Young. All the way to the far side.
And again, Aera has come out in their zone. Let's see if they switch to man pretty quickly.
All the way back side to Ooh. To the middle. 2-pass swing. Gets it all the way to the middle. Now on the far side, Young. This zone is sticking right now, and it looks like they just made the switch to person coverage. Nice grab there in the middle. That's number 97, 91, Tiff Hu.
Kristen Lee now with the disc.
Back to Hu. Hu on the short side. Doesn't like the swing to the middle. Nice, excellent low release throw. Number 71, Mika Liu.
Had the spin she needed.
And likes the shot. Not quite in the end zone. Ooh, up line, and that's going to connect. Nice. Tiff Hu with the goal. And Mischief gets right back on the board and stops the bleeding. 5-4 Aera leads at this first game of the Canadian Ultimate Championship in Edmonton. Now, for those people who are interested in all the other games that are happening this morning, we'll be trying our best to get some results up here in the booth, and relay them to you. I'm sure you can check out Twitter on the CUC 2016 Twitter account. We'll be live updating games. This is Ultimate Canada's coverage of the 2016 Canadian Ultimate Championships in Edmonton. Broadcast partner is sportscanada.tv. You can find us at ultimatecanada.tv for the entire week for action-packed coverage. We have 3 or 4 games every single day from Field 14. This is the showcase field. We've got amazing games. Later on today, we have more from the juniors division. In the juniors women's division, I believe we have Mofo and Misfit, which should be a doozy. And so far, Colin, we're seeing phenomenal play from both sides, really. Low amount of turnovers. There's been no calls. The wind's down. This is just a good old-fashioned slugfest.
That's right, Kevin. Tight game. It's anyone's game at this point. And it'll be interesting to see how this one plays out.
There's the pull. That's number 27, Leanne Campbell. And another offside called. Looks like Aera stepped over the line.
Right. So the receiving team, they all need to have at least 1 foot on the line until the pass is released. So... No! This looks like it was Mischief that was offside. So as mentioned earlier, they'd already had their warning. So now Aera gets to put the disc in at midfield, which huge advantage considering that the pull came down well beneath their brick.
And there's Laura Juran-Jacques with the disc. Swings it over the top and can't connect. And there's the Mischief zone forcing a turnover. Mischief with the disc on the far sideline. They're just going to burn it up the open side and just a miscue there on the underplay. Good attacking throw. Juran-Jacques picks it up and the zone resets. Breaks it through the middle to Coutu. Coutu up to Poirier. That's Godert, rather. All the way around Denis with the disc. Denis surrounded by the Mischief zone.
A little bit trapped. She'll need to find a bail.
Goes over the top, connects with Juran-Jacques.
Nice high release backhand from Denis.
Coutu with the disc in the middle of the field. Juran-Jacques demands it back. Breaks the force and a phenomenal grab. That's Robert with the disc now. Looks back. Juran-Jacques commanding the backfield. Nice break around. Denis with the disc. Denis looks upfield. Hangs a bit. Tipped and caught. Jessica Dubé with the goal at the back of the end zone off the deflection from her own teammate.
Matilda Coutu. Now, does Matilda get credit for the assist there, Kevin?
I'm not a statistician, but if I was given that one, I would have given it to the original thrower.
Probably the wise thing to do.
And there you have it. I mean, Aera, after a quick turn, gets it back, and then some really patient offense driven by Laura Juran-Jacques. A stalwart on the team last year. She returns now, and that's something we've seen from Aera in the past, is they do rely on a few star handlers to command the offense, especially against the zone. And Mischief's zone's looking pretty good. They force some high stuff, but in the low winds, Aera's been able to go over the top with pretty good success already.
But that might be a strategy that if it does get windier, that may pay off for Aera, is that if their handlers aren't as strong on the disc with throwing, if you just let them do the shorter dump passes and let their star handlers punch the disc up the field, might be a way to limit the turnovers. And limiting the turnovers is definitely a key to winning.
So if you're just joining us, this is the CUC 2016 in Edmonton, Alberta. And earlier today, during the opening ceremonies, Executive Director Danny Saunders of Ultimate Canada announced the location for next year's CUC. It's going to be held in Ottawa. That's the last time it was held in Ottawa was 2011. A phenomenal sports park there. It's the UPI, and it's specifically for Ultimate, which really makes the experience something special. So we can all look forward to the 2017 CUC, which is happening in Ottawa.
And if you're interested in the CUC Mixed, which this year is happening next week in Hamilton, next year's CUC Mixed will be held in Saskatoon.
And let's get back right into the action. Mischief with the disc heading downwind slightly, and they're just going to huck it again. Mischief been relying on their Hucks, have connected with a few, but, Colin, with the wind like this, do you think the Huck game is going to be the one that pays off for Mischief down the line?
In a big wind game, when the wind is really up, playing the Huck and zone can really affect, because the field position can mean a lot more. But the way that we've seen Aera moving the disc today, that turnover notwithstanding, if they're able to move the disc up the entire field, you don't want to give up possession just that easy.
Oh, and a great stab there by number 7, Alice Lowe. She swings it to the middle. That's Young. Young doesn't like the break, doesn't like the open side cut.
Mischief resetting the stack.
Nice break side throw. Right on the goal line. That's number 4, Joey Liu. Liu with the disc. Wants the up line. Gets it, but doesn't hit it. A little bit of a, maybe I could say, over-disciplined stack there, and no one was really attacking. No one really wanted the disc.
Yeah, there was one point there where defender Ariane Pepin had fallen and wasn't able to get a mark on. And with no mark at all, Mischief was all focused on getting back into the stack and wasn't able to get the quick point there.
But there they go. They get it right back.
Tiffany Hu with a nice D. Dishes it off to Kristen Lee.
And now we might be seeing some of these sort of first game jitters coming through. Both teams came out pretty hot at the start, connecting with all their shots. And now there's starting to be a bit more of these points that are a bit more of a grind. Bisson with the disc on the far sideline. She wants Lacombe. Good coverage in the backfield. Gets her release valve. Pepin airs it out. Furlan reels it in. Going to go straight back up line.
Played.
And Bisson will catch the goal. Aera cashes in and leads 7-4.
Nice little run that Aera's made here to take control of the game. One more point, and they will take halftime.
So we've seen Aera really making use of that open side, just hitting shot after shot, and then hitting the Hucks. With the wind the way it is, if you can get a well-timed strike, all these girls can hit that shot. And so what we've seen, I think, from the Mischief team is sort of, the timing on the cuts haven't been ideal, and the throwers have gotten a bit too excited and just sort of boosted it recklessly. Where on the Aera side, we've seen them connect with a few Hucks, one open, one break, and really they've just well-timed, and they're coming short of the end zone a little bit, but a completion is a completion, and when you get it right up there, then they've just been able to pop it in, no problem, and then it shows on the scoreboard as Aera leads 7-4.
Sorry, that's probably what coaches of Mischief are trying to communicate to the team right now, is just show a little bit of patience, make smart decisions with the disc, make sure you make proper eye contact. I think that point down in the end zone there, where they turned it over, the cutter went one way and the throw went the other. So just make sure everyone's on the same page and to make good, smart plays.
Yeah, and Mischief had a chance to cash in there in the downwind end zone, and they had their stack, and just it didn't really look like they were all on the same page. As it was either too many people cutting at once or just nobody cutting, and that's certainly just something they'll probably work out in the rest of the tournament, but it's showing right here in the first game. Mischief picks it up, moves it to the middle. Lee with the disc. Lee looks upfield. Doesn't really have many options. Oh, and a quick inside shot. Oh! Not quite connected.
It was a ricochet disc there. That was some great defense by Roxanne Godert preventing the handler dump.
Oh, and Jean Jacques picks it up right away and calls a timeout. Pretty veteran move there, if you ask me, with 7-4 stacked Aera lineup here. Jean Jacques gets in there, calls a timeout, and they're going to want to cash this one in. 8-4, 7-5 is a pretty big difference there, so they're going to want to take this one.
And you got 2 timeouts per half. Can't carry them over to the second half, so might as well take time, catch your breath, set up a good play, and take half at 8-4 would be huge for Aera.
We talk about coaches. You can see there Corinne Massé getting in there and providing some instruction. She played on the U23 Canadian women's team in 2013 on home soil in Toronto. On the other side, you have Vic Lam and Veronica Ng, who have also represented Canada in their own right. So the coaches here definitely providing a veteran experience role model. Corinne Massé also plays for Iris, the Quebec club women's team. They're competing in the USAU circuit this year. Very strong squad, came second last year in the CUC to Traffic.
Which was the game at the tournament last year for adult, was that Traffic versus Iris final.
So you have these, elite level coaches giving the instruction to these 15, 16 through 18-year-olds, providing, the next generation of superstars with all the information that they've grown up learning. Massey was talking, she's played just shy of 10 years now, and that 10 years of experience is showing through in some of these Aera players.
And that's really the key to building the strong junior programming, is it all starts with the coaches. The players are turning over year after year after year. But if you can bring the coaches that are good at recruiting, teaching the kids, making a good, fun environment, it makes all the difference for them.
Absolutely, and let's get back to the action. Jean Jacques going to pick it up. Nice isolation cut there. Swings it out. Proto with the disc, bends one in, big layout, but can't connect. Great effort in the front corner of the end zone. It looks like we have a player down.
Injured. Can't make out the number right now.
Proto with a great look around with the break force forehand there, and just comes up a touch short.
Now you'll notice that all the players right now are sitting down taking a knee. Partly it's to give the injured player a bit of respect, a bit of space, but also when the disc comes in, they have to come back in at the same spot that they were. So by taking that knee, it if this injury does take a little bit longer to get off the field, it does help them all remember where they were to get playback in action.
And that's a nice touch. I like that introduction. When I played Juniors Ultimate, this wasn't a thing, and I really like it. It shows a nice level of respect. Everyone's caring about the injured player. Who's just returning to her feet now.
So are you going to suggest Furious George all take a knee after the next injury, Kevin?
I might suggest it, yeah.
Okay.
That injured player, that's Catherine Lee, and she's been shouldering quite a bit of the defensive and offensive work for Mischief, so hopefully it's just a little cramp or a bump or bruise. Maybe she's winded. Hopefully she can get back out there and that's not anything serious. But Mischief will collect the disc.
Stuck on the sideline, don't have much cuts in the way. Might be difficult. Nice cut up the line by Olivia Fast.
Inside shot. Disc on the close sideline. 29, Wu climbs the ladder and grabs the disc.
Runs in the family.
Upline cut. Lee with the disc. Lee airs it out to the upwind end zone. 2 players in there, 4 in the vicinity. Up and goal. Mischief with an excellent read. That's Jennifer Louie with the disc. And that's an upwind goal. And, huge difference like we talked about before, right? 7-5, that's a totally manageable deficit. The 8-4 would have been really tough to stomach. And Mischief, after generating the turn in their own end zone, goes the full 70 for the goal. My goodness, Colin.
And what was impressive about that play too, Kevin, was that they marched it up the sideline the entire point, which for those of you that have played Ultimate before, that can be very difficult to do. You've got very tiny windows. Generally speaking, you're going to be looking for that, resetting back into the middle of the field, have more space to play with. So again, Mischief, great execution there, but something the coaches will be telling them is, do try and be a little bit more patient with the disc, reset it into the middle, and to set up the plays.
And they moved it up the sideline. Couple nice grabs there. Wu with a grab, and then they aired it out. 4 players in the vicinity, but Jennifer Louie gets up there and cashes in for the upwind point. And let's see if this can start a little run for Mischief. That has to be a momentum-building grab.
Just as we said, 8-5 is a lot more different than 8-4 at half. If Mischief can get another break or two, get this back within a couple points, they'll be well poised. For those that are wondering, games here are to 15, and there's also an 85-minute hard cap. This game is currently about 37 minutes in, so it's going at a nice pace, so we probably will get the game to fill 15.
There's a big pull from Young. Looks like Mischief stacking this line, hoping to get that break in another zone of some formation. It looks like a 3-person cup. Swung it around, Deschênes. Deschênes with the disc. A little bit more wind now in the Aera's face. Deschênes surveying, swings it around.
Mischief is now melted to man. Or, no, it's just a very loose cup.
There's Lacombe with the disc to the middle. That's Furlan. Furlan breaks the force to Deschênes. Deschênes with the disc. Surveying. Not delivering. Great coverage downfield by Mischief. Swings it around. Nice grab. Far sideline. Pepin with the disc. Doesn't like her upwind cut. Hits Bisson on the far sideline. Bisson with the disc. Great coverage. This is a good defensive point. Pushing them back. Deschênes with the disc now. Call on the field. looks like
Looked
it.
like there may have been a
Offensive foul called.
offensive foul called. It's just that they push off.
That's Emma Young guarding Julia Bisson on the far sideline. Oh, you know
I
what
think
it was?
a stall call.
And an uncontested one at that. Emma Young on the mark, and Mischief has a chance to get that coveted downwind break to complete the 2-point swing. Young will pick up, covered by Bisson. She airs one out right away, trying to connect.
Great
And a
grab
great
there
grab by
by
Dion
Dion
Shu. Shu with the disc on the goal line. This could be huge.
Finds a nice dump there.
Break force cut. Connects.
Oh. I think Karel LaRoche just got a fingertip on that one to break it up. Great play by LaRoche.
And nonetheless, Mischief gets it all the way down, can't convert, but Deschênes and her Aera squad are going to have to go 70 yards if they want to get this point to take half. Not much movement from the stack.
Yeah. Aera's had a bit of problems in playing this person-on-person defense. Great layout there.
That's Bisson again in this close sideline, right in the middle of the field.
Yeah.
Nice attacking. That's Lacombe with the disc. Upfield, Furlan. Furlan, up line. Lacombe, great grab. Goes to ground to make sure she keeps possession.
Break force
Big
huck.
break force huck. Over the top.
Just couldn't quite pull it in there. Great effort by Ariane Pepin.
Disc on the goal line now, and this is a long point. Both these teams know how valuable this point is. Number 13, Ko with the disc. Goes up line. That's Low. Low looking upfield, back to Ko. Ko in the middle, swings it to Young. Young takes her eye off it for just a second, and just a second is enough, and Aera gets a short field.
And calls timeout, their second timeout of the half.
And Colin, what do you think about that timeout call? Like they've had a bunch of turns both ways. Maybe is this just to settle things down?
I think so, Kevin. I mean, you can look at it two ways there. After those turnovers quite close to the end zone, the defense hasn't had time to set up. You can sometimes get that quick strike. But if it wasn't there, and it's very possible that the handler didn't see it, it had been a long point, very tired. Take a break, drink some water. Set up a play. Come strong into half. So as I say, the timeouts don't carry over to the second half, so it makes sense just to use it.
Absolutely. We can say that we've had sort of some reckless turnovers here in this point, but Mischief came down on this D point with a defensive intensity that we hadn't seen yet this game. If they can match that for the rest of the game, this is absolutely going to be a contest right to the final buzzer.
That's right, Kevin. Mischief came out trying to play their rabbit wall, and Aera was patient and was able to slice and dice their way through it. And last few points, Mischief has changed to a person-on-person defense, and Aera is having a hard time getting open cutters, and that's really paying off. So I would expect to see Mischief play a lot more person going forward.
Aera has a vertical stack in the end zone. This is Michel Simon picking the disc up. Swings it to the outside.
Bisson with the disc.
Bisson back into the middle to Lacombe. Lacombe with the disc. A little bit of a zony man coverage. And there
great grab there. Belina Furlan has been having a great game today and makes a nice grab to take half 8-5.
And Colin, that goal after the timeout, it looks like the timeout paid off. Mischief came out with sort of a loose person-on-person coverage, kind of junky, but at the end of the day, when Furlan gets open in the end zone, the shot is on target, and she grabs it above her head. And taking half 8-5, that's a nice, solid half by Aera. They're going to look to take this forward into the second half.
Halftime is 5 minutes. So, again, teams will have a chance to take on some water. Coaches will have a little bit more time to go over strategy, get the first game jitters out of the way, focus on what they're doing well, areas for improvement, and tighten things up for the second half.
The score is 8-5 for Aera. They're in blue against Mischief in white. This is the CUC 2016 live from the Ivor Dent Sports Park in Edmonton, Alberta. This is Ultimate Canada's broadcast partnered with sportscanada.tv. Thanks a lot for joining us today. We have the second half coming right up after just a few moments of break time. And, this 8-5 game is something special. So tune in if you get a chance. We have action-packed coverage for the entire week. All right, welcome back to the Canadian Ultimate Championships 2016, live from the Ivor Dent Sports Park in Edmonton, Alberta. We have had a doozy of a first game. This is Aera versus Mischief. Aera in blue versus Mischief in white in the junior women's division. Aera leading 8-5. Colin Maddle with me in the booth. I'm Kevin Underhill here for the second half action. Colin, what did we see in the first half?
It's a pretty good game, Kevin. I think it was the difference in the game so far is Aera's handling has just been a little bit crisper, a little bit smarter, and smarter decisions with the disc. Mischief has been throwing it away downfield a little bit and just haven't been able to convert.
Okay, and here we are with the second half action. Disc on the close sideline.
Aera again coming out with their zone. See if they'll melt to a man within a few throws.
Lee airs it out right away, going for Wu. Wu settling under it with Ko2. Wu boxes her out, makes a phenomenal, great play on the disc, but just can't connect with the catch.
Did everything but catch it.
Duran Jacques with the disc. She's going to walk it up. You know, calling a break right off the bat downwind. It could
be a little bit demoralizing for Mischief.
Absolutely, especially after a pretty crisp O point with Wu tracking it down, just not being able to, connect with the goal. Oh, but they get it right back. Lee with the disc.
Not a lot of movement here for Mischief. Finds Wu, though, in the middle of the field. Wu to who?
Ooh, can't quite connect with the upline.
That was not an Abbott and Costello joke. I'm sorry. Tweet all of your complaints to Kevin Underhill at KevUnderhill81. 89.
Aera picks up again. That's Duran Jacques with the disc. The wind has picked up in this second half just a bit. Nothing that they can't handle, but certainly adjusting the throws a little bit. We've already seen a couple missed throws here in the second half.
And that might be something we see, Kevin, as the players get a little bit more tired. It's a little bit more overthrows.
And Mischief connects in the upwind end zone. That's Hazel Pangolinin with the goal. Nice break force around there. And, Mischief connects in the upwind end zone to start the second half and bring the score to 8-6. Aera still leads. It's nice to get that first O point out of half. It sort of breeds confidence for the rest of the half. Getting broken right out of the halftime break is always demoralizing, as we were talking about. So Mischief showing some gritty D there, getting it back and then punching it in.
Yeah, Mischief still has a lot of time left. They don't need to score all their points right now, but they do need to get some breaks here or there and have their O-line convert on all their chances if they want to get back in this.
Absolutely, and so we're here watching Aera versus Mischief. It's the 8th and the 9th seed. If everything holds seeds effectively, this is a battle to get into the quarterfinals. They're putting it all on the line here right off the bat, but we have, 7 other teams above them in the seedings that are all fighting for that quarters semifinal berth. Colin, any predictions in this junior women's division of, who the top sort of teams are and who we should be watching out for in the rest of the tournament?
I definitely think that Alpha out of Vancouver, they are the provincial all-star team for BC. They've definitely got to be a favorite. They won last year. Toro out of Toronto, they had a bit of a down year last year. They didn't even make the semifinals. But they're always strong. I heard they were very dominant at regionals. So I would expect that Toro and Alpha will be the top 2 teams. And Mofo out of Winnipeg will also be strong.
Absolutely, and I just had a chance to run over and check a score while we were in the break there. Bonfire, also out of British Columbia, the 3rd team out of BC, was defeating Red River Rebellion, the 3rd team out of Manitoba, 12-0. That's a bit of a rout over there, and I think Bonfire's a bit of a sleeper pick for this tournament. They've always had a really strong squad, have been sort of overshadowed by the A team, the Alpha squad from BC, but Bonfire showing that they're here to play for the whole tournament for sure.
So that was something new this year we just saw with the Observer just threw down an orange beanbag on the sideline. That was as a method of letting the players know where it went out of bounds so that the players can just quickly get the disc back into play. So that's new this year. Continue to look out for that.
Deschênes airs one out. Great grab by Bisson. She's right on the doorstep here. Flips it around to the corner and can't quite connect with LaRoche.
The wind sort of caught that one. I think LaRoche thought it was well gone and over her head, and it just sort of floated right up above her, but she just lost sight of the disc and turnover happened.
Mischief with another chance, going downwind. Young fighting for space up line. Disc in the middle.
Very stagnant offense from Mischief right now. Their D-line's on.
Turnover on the short sideline. Sponsorship? Yeah, you got it. Here's Deschênes to pick up. This is Aera's star center handler. Spins it to the middle. Great grab by Bisson. She's been getting up for those ones all game long. Makes a pretty big difference. Nice swing there. Lacombe with the disc. Lacombe surveying. Breaks the force inside. That's Bisson again. Bisson with the disc. Back to Lacombe. Can't quite connect. Those flick dumps are tricky. It's always advisable to go backhand if you can, but Bisson just misconnected with Lacombe. Emma Young with the disc now. Close sideline. Going downwind.
Mischief's got their D-line out, and they are looking really, really unorganized on offense. There was no cutting whatsoever, and Young was getting late in her stall count and just needed to boot it down the field.
And, when the wind starts to kick up a bit, getting the disc downfield, field position becomes much more valuable. Aera is really patient. Deschênes.
And as you say, they're patient, Kevin. They just threw one floaty one up the sideline.
Ain't that the way? Chung around. Connects. Celine Huang. Huang on the goal step. And that's a goal. Number 20. That's
Zoe Luke
from Huang. And, quietly, Mischief has just clawed themselves right back into this game. Aera was on the doorstep for a chance to take half 8-4, and all of a sudden we have ourselves an 8-7 game. What can you attribute Mischief's success to here?
I think that they started playing a very tighter defense. Their person defense has been very tight. They've been taking away the open side, and Aera's had a few nice break throws, but they've been able to also force them into some very difficult handler dumps that have created some turnovers. So I definitely look for Mischief to continue playing their person defense for the rest of this game.
And just while we have a moment here between points, we got a chance to mention all the amazing volunteers that have helped out in setting up this amazing event, the tournament organizing committee, and of course...
Hug your volunteers.
Yeah, and of course sponsors that have been able to, donate, materials and financial aid to helping this event be so amazing. Sponsors, VC, Custom Ultimate Apparel, Discraft, the hotel sponsors, Delta Edmonton South, and of course, what we're sitting on here, Standard Scaffold and Installation, we very much appreciate it here in the booth because we have ourselves a great vantage point of this amazing showcase field. And of course, we can't forget about our beer sponsorship, Big Rock Brewing, right here in Edmonton.
If you're coming down to watch the games, unfortunately, the beer garden will not be here for the juniors, but it will be for the adults later in the week.
Absolutely, and let's get back to the action. Dubé's got the disc on the sideline. Another zone here from Mischief. Breaks it through, deflected disc, and that's a block.
That's right. Both Drouin Jacques and Natalie Michaud both had a hand on that disc, but neither were able to pull it down.
Fast, swings it to the middle. Campbell looks upfield and can't connect. Aera has another chance. Colin, these sort of points here, Mischief's cashed in on a few in a row. Aera really wants to make sure they connect on this one. They don't want this game to just wind up being a big slugfest. They want to get back into their comfortable lead that they had before.
Great scuba over the top there by Drouin Jacques.
Zoe Luke brings it.
And Penelope Robert with also a nice grab. Cuts it through the middle to Drouin Jacques.
Airs it out. Dubé under the disc and connects.
Pulls it in.
That's a critical point for Aera. Drouin Jacques, the do-all for Aera for this entire game, just popped it through the middle and unloaded a dime to the back middle of the end zone where Jessica Dubé tracked it down, made sure with two hands, and we have ourselves a 9-7 Aera lead.
Yeah, that play entirely started early on where Drouin Jacques was stuck on the sideline, didn't have much in the way of cuts, and threw a nice cross-field scuba all the way, and that just opened everything up, and once that happened, they were in business. So score is now Aera 9, Mischief 7.
And we've seen Mischief is not going away quietly. Aera built themselves a comfy 3-point lead, but that quickly evaporated as Mischief just kept rolling in points there out of the half. That's the first time Aera scored this half. as far as discipline goes, Aera had a phenomenal first half, very few turnovers, was really clinical with the disc. But they're starting to falter a little bit, and we can't take any credit away from this Mischief defense. When they've been playing their person-on-person defense, it's been hard. Aera's had multi-turn points, and all of a sudden we have ourselves a 9-7 grind where Aera was kind of hoping to probably walk away with it a bit in the second half, but that is certainly not happening. Mischief is not going away.
And if you listen to their cheers, the team motto for Mischief is cause trouble, and that's definitely what they've been doing lately. So let's see if they can keep it up.
There's a pull, lands bout at the brick mark over on the far sideline. Mischief picks it up. Person-on-person coverage in the downfield. Not much in the way of cuts available right now. She just boosts it, and that's just a punt.
Tiffany Wu cannot get underneath it.
Good speed from Wu, but just can't track it. And there's a call.
There's a call on the play. It
looks like it's a stall.
And it does not look like it's been contested. Otherwise, it would just be a turnover.
Some small discussion there. Lindsay Pattison, the observer, getting involved, helping out.
She promised me not to say this, but sorry, Lindsay, I'm going to say it anyways. Lindsay was doing her PhD in history, and her thesis paper was on the history of Ultimate. So she is very well versed and can actually call her a doctor in Ultimate.
That's unbelievable. I want to be a doctor in Ultimate one day.
So it looks like the stall call was contested, so the continuation rule applied, and that results in a turnover down the field.
And the other observer today is Josh Jury.
Comes from Winnipeg, Manitoba.
Aera picks up and just a quick turn, and it looks like Mischief will just have from the brick in to cash in here. Joy Chen picks up. Chen looks upfield, doesn't like what she has. Lots of faking, straight up, and that's going to work.
It's a great grab there by Catherine Lee. Pulled it down in the middle of all the action.
And just as we were saying, Mischief causing trouble for this Aera squad, and they just refuse to go away as they just keep narrowing the gap, and it's a 9-8 Aera lead right now. Aera strolling out to the offensive unit with Juan Jacques sort of quarterbacking that squad. They're going to look to keep cashing in, but Mischief not going away.
And also the wind that we saw that was playing a bit of a factor in the first half is now completely dead. The flags that you can see across the way in the stands are all at a standstill.
Amazing playing conditions here. If you're watching us now, make sure to stay tuned for the rest of the day. We have some amazing matchups in the Junior Open Division at 1:30. We have Mofo versus Misfit. That's Winnipeg versus Vancouver squad. I believe it's the 4-5 seeds. And that might be one of the games of the tournament right off the bat on the first day. And again, one of those games that if you drop, you might swing onto the other side of the bracket. Talk a little bit about the Junior Open division. A lot of familiar names as we see in the women's division. Colin, what do you have sort of predictions for the Junior Open division?
Junior Open division, I think very similar to the women's. It's going to come down to Alpha and Toro. Last year, those two teams met in the final. Alpha came out, I believe they were up 10-3. And Toro switched to his own defense and absolutely just brought it back, ground it back, and ended up in probably the most ridiculous play I've ever seen in Ultimate on Universe Point with a layout in the end zone to win for Toro. So I would expect those teams will be very strong. Mofo is also strong, and Hydra out of Quebec had a great team last year. I don't know how many returning players they have, but they're another team to look out for.
Absolutely. And, this Quebec contingent right here from Aera is moving the disc well. They're keeping the disc moving, and right now they've got a chance to take the lead 10-8 if they can. Duran Jack shoots one right up the middle, and an amazing block
there by Joy Chen.
Comes flying in from the deep, but it was deflected. Oh my goodness. A comedy of errors out there on the field as Chen comes flying through for the block, but it connects anyway, and uncontested, they walk it in for the goal, and Aera takes the 10-8 lead. A really sort of unorthodox play there as Juan Jacques bent one through the middle. Joy Chen came screaming in from the deep position in the zone. Got a piece of it, but deflected and connected. That's a little bit of demoralizing there. What do you think about that there, Colin? There's a deflection, a potential, amazing block by Joy Chen, their deep defender, and it just ricochets to an Aera player who Then they just waltz it in, no problem.
Those are always the tough ones, Kevin. But you got to remember what you were doing well, that you almost had that. Keep your head up. Continue grinding on D, and hope to get the next one. If you let those ones continue to get in your head, get down about it, well, the next thing you know, they're going to get 2, 3, 4 back on you. So important here is when plays like that happen, just keep your head up, play hard, and good things will happen.
There's Coach Corinne Massé urging her defensive unit to put one on the board here. Aera's defense, after generating 3 breaks in the first half, has sort of gone quiet here in the second half as Mischief's just been cruising down on offense for goals. So Corinne firing her team up there, hoping for a little bit better of a result. On the other side, Vic Lamb helping out her Mischief squad. This Mischief team's shown some resilience all game long, trails 10-8. Time running down, points running down. Mischief has to go on a run here if they want to get in this game. Big pull from Aera. It's going to land inbounds right near the brick mark.
Sticks him on the sideline. Great hustle down there by Aera, not allowing the easy throw.
Lee with the disc. Airs it out right away, looking for Wu. Tracks it down with her great speed, and that's an easy goal for Mischief. Catherine Lee delivers a dart right to the chest of Wu on the run. Mischief answers the bell and just goes shot for shot. A 3-pass point. Colin, what did we just see there?
Well, it's a great pull that got them down on the sidelines, and the great hustle by Aera to come down. But then the middle handler, I didn't catch her name. She made a great cut up the line that just sliced through the zone and set up the big huck to Wu. So it was just great sense of field there by Mischief. And Tiffany Wu is definitely showing signs of her brother there. Darren Wu, one of the deep field threats on Vancouver Riptide and Furious, and she's definitely learned a thing or two from him.
Tiffany Wu, it's her 3rd goal of the game, showing just extreme speed out of the horizontal set there, attacking the end zone as she has been doing all game. There's a player to watch out for quietly from Mischief, as one of the most dangerous players so far we've seen. Her speed, I'd say unmatched in this competition, as she's been attacking the end zone all game long, and that time absolutely rewarded by Catherine Lee just firing one. If Mischief can utilize Wu's speed, I don't see why they can't get back into this game. It's 10-9, 1-point game. O-line's holding in the second half. Mischief right in it. I'm honestly surprised that Wu didn't make one of the higher teams after what we've seen from her today. Emma Young with the pull. It's going to float down.
It's a good point, Kevin, but I believe these teams are formed pretty early in the summer, late in the spring. And at this age, there's oftentimes quite a bit of development that happens over these last couple of months. So, I would expect, I don't know if she has some eligibility left, I would expect Tiffany to be playing on Misfit or potentially even Alpha next summer.
Absolutely. And a miscue there, and Mischief generates a turnover right on the brick mark, essentially. And this is number 18, Olivia Fast, walking up to the disc. Fast surveying. This is a huge point.
Mischief again setting up their vertical stack. Celine Huang with the disc.
Oh, and an unfortunate turn in the middle of the field. That was Mischief having a chance at a crucial break to tie the game, and now it's Drew Jacques, the field quarterback for Aera, with the disc, facing a person-to-person coverage. There it is. Connects with Goder on the far sideline. Goder looking upfield. Shimmy. Doesn't like it. Hits Drew Jacques in the middle. Drew Jacques. Oh, nice fake. Breaks the force. Excellent hands there by Robert. Robert on the far sideline. Middle to Goder. Goder surveying. Looks upfield. Connects with the neck cutter. Nice break force throw. That's number 44. Jessica Dubé with the disc. Goes to the end zone. Oh, huge layout by Robert, but can't quite hang on to it. Disc on the far sideline. They're going to blast it all the way down. Pilon tracking on D and makes an unbelievable play. Pilon with the disc. Looks upfield. Swings to Goder. Goder. Out to Proto. Proto. Back to the middle. Goder. Godere wants the inside, but great coverage on Drenjak. Gets open eventually, but can't track it down.
Out of reach.
Really good coverage there.
It's been a long point. I think early in the point, Drenjak probably get that one down, but you can just see that just losing a little bit of steam here and just out of her reach. Wasn't able to pull it down.
Leanne Coe with phenomenal coverage there on Aera's star. Mischief moving it upfield and can't quite connect on the upline.
Another unfortunate drop. Now on these long points here, you're not allowed to sub in the middle of a point, and the players can get quite tired, and you end up seeing a lot of the sloppy play, as we're starting to see here.
As we just see again, Pilon trying to find Godere up line and just hangs a little bit, and she can't quite bring it down. Proto here on the mark, fast with the disc, fast looking upfield. Really active cutting from the dump position. Emma Young tries to get open. Oh, and a great saving catch there. That's Dion Shu. Dion Shu looking upfield. Back to fast, connects.
We understand we may have had some technical difficulties with the audio. We apologize for that, but we are back in business now.
And Emma Young brings down the throw, and a little bit of discussion. That goal's going to stand, and this game is all tied up.
Yeah, it was a great catch by Emma Young there. It looks like she did just clip her teammate a little bit in the end zone, Leanne Coe, but Leanne's all right. It's always easier to get up after your team scores the point.
And Mischief is fired up right now. It's 10-10. This is the 8-9 seed matchup. As advertised, this has been a phenomenal game. Both teams playing great ultimate, and Mischief going on a little bit of a run here in the second half. Aera has yet to break them. Their offensive unit, their defensive unit, all engines firing here for Mischief as this game starting to wind down in time. 10-10 is the score.
That's right, Kevin. It is a game to 15. It's hard cap at 15 this year. There is no win by 2 provision in play. But I think what's going to happen at this one, of course, immediately I said it in the first half, you knew it was going to go the other way, is that I think this game is going to end on time. It's an 85-minute game cap, and we are coming up on 15 and a half minutes left. The way this is going, I would expect the first team to 13 is probably going to pull this one in.
And you can see the Mischief Open team on the close sideline celebrating their breaks from their women counterpart. Mischief Open with a bye this morning. They're the 12 seed in their in the Junior Open division, hoping to channel some of this excitement from their women's team squad into their first game.
Yeah, that's another nice wrinkle you see in the junior division that you won't see in the adult there, Kevin, is that the teams are all related to each other, and with the sharing the team names, sharing the training, and the boys all come and cheer on the girls, and the girls come on and cheer on the boys, and it definitely is nice to have the cheering squad in the sideline.
Absolutely. Here's Bisson with the disc in the middle. Swings it out wide, floats a little bit. Oh, great grab there. Toes the line, Poirier.
Observer called her out.
Oh, Lindsay Pattison delivering a call from downfield. Just Poirier couldn't quite toe the line, and Mischief has a chance to take their first lead since the very beginning of the game.
I believe they were up 3-2 and been trailing ever since.
Not much activity. Swings it out. Wu with the disc. Swings it. Lee and Wu have been the do-all. Hits the break for shot, and that's a goal. Looks like there's a call.
Probably a pick was called. Observers confirming it was a pick.
Hannah Samuel cutting to the break side.
We're going to have to go back to thrower.
Samuel moving to the break side. Lee delivering a beautiful throw. Looks like there's a pick called. Doesn't surprise me. She was pretty open in the end zone there. Tough to tell. A lot of not too much activity in the stack there for Mischief. Wu providing a bit of a release valve. She's going to get going. Lee looks upfield. Swings to the middle and a quick drop right on the brick mark, and Aera has the disc again with a chance to take the lead. Oh, airs it out. Bisson tracking.
3 of them there to grab it.
Aera has the disc.
Well, sometimes patience pays off. Don't always just want to chuck it in the end zone and throw it away.
Miriam Poirier with the disc and just can't quite connect there.
Another great layout attempt by Aera. 2 on this point that just haven't been able to pull one down.
Julia Bisson with the big bid there. She's shown athleticism up in the air, going horizontal. She's shown it all this game. They're going to need her to be on point for the rest of the game if they want to connect. Wu tracking, gets up.
Oh.
Amazing grab. A little bit of contact there, but Wu with a really excellent elevates, makes the grab. A little bit of contact. Doesn't look like anyone's hurt. That's just a good ultimate play and a beautiful catch by Tiff Wu. Little contact there with Reddick. All parties seem all right.
Yeah.
They reestablish position, and we're going to get this disc tapped in just a second.
And quite often with the junior players, they are not as well versed on the rules, and that is where the observers really do come into play more in the juniors. Is they don't necessarily need to come in and make a ruling on whether it was a foul or not, but they can provide their guidance on where everyone should be, how the disc comes into play. So Josh Drury did a good job of getting in there and getting play back in action.
Good downfield coverage there by Deschênes, taking away Zoe Luke's options. The disc back in, and a
great hand block by Tiffany Wu.
She has become the do-all in this second half. Unbelievable read reaction there. Lee in the middle trying to get open. Can't get open. Campbell with the disc. Oh, and an unfortunate drop on the close sideline. This game's getting a little gritty. Fighting for every inch. Deschênes to pick up. Deschênes, who was excellent all first half, has gone a little bit quiet in the second half, but let's see if she can make up for that. She boosts one outside, coming back into the field.
No, that was never in. I believe there was a foul on the play. Thor called a foul. I believe her arm was hit.
Florence Deschênes, that's one of the main handlers for Aera.
No contest will be coming in at stall 1. Oh, stall 3. Maybe it was contested.
Some early action here from the Aera stack. Swings it to the middle. Bisson with the disc. Goes out wide. Poirier looks upfield. Reddick to Deschênes in the middle. Poirier uncovered on the close sideline, but Deschênes looking upfield. She wants something bigger. Hits a big swing out to the sideline. That's going to connect. Nice shot. Disc on the far sideline. Aera going up the open side. LaRoche with the disc. Near the brick mark on the far sideline. Goes to the middle to Deschênes.
Oh, unlucky. I think we saw that earlier from Young out of Mischief. Just took her eye off the disc and was looking for an next throw before she caught it.
And they boosted up. Deschênes. Oh, and a great grab
there by
Zoe Luke climbs the ladder. Looks for Tiffany Wu. And she has been finding that end zone the entire game, and Mischief continues to roll in this second half. Some dejected walking there from Aera. They knew they had a shot twice on the upwind end zone. Couldn't cash in. They go the other way, and wouldn't you know it, it's Tiffany Wu finding the end zone for her 4th goal of the game. A truly standout performance from the superstar out of Mischief. We're closing in on the cap here. Looks like there's a timeout called. Probably a good call here by Aera.
There's been a lot of long points, and the star players are probably getting a little bit tired. I imagine that Aera wants to make sure that Juan Jacques is on the field as much as possible, along with Florence Deschênes, Julia Bisson, and a few other star players. So, you know, it can always be a little bit risky calling a timeout when you're down. But if you need to make sure that your O-line is rested and ready to go out there, it can be smart. We are coming up on just under 10 minutes left until the hard cap.
So what do you make of this Mischief run in the second half, Colin? They started this half down 8-5. That's a 3-point deficit, and they've accelerated past Aera and now lead 11-10. Some obviously great individual play, but what can we say about their defense in the second half?
I think both teams, Kevin, have really cracked down on their defense and playing really tight person-to-person and creating a whole bunch of turnovers. And Mischief just seems to be, you know, digging a little bit deeper on a few of these ones and have pulled out some of these marathon points. And those times it sort of seems to be that it's been Tiffany Wu that's been making the difference. So I think Aera going forward, and probably what they're talking about in their timeout right now, is they need to figure out a way to neutralize Tiffany Wu and and then capitalize on their offense chances when they create their turns.
Yeah, and it's tough to contain a player with that much top end speed. They've been she's shown it. She accelerates out of the pack and just goes for goals. When they get a couple connections upfield, she's the next option. She's always finding the end zone. She's got a nose for the end zone. She's playing great today, obviously, and sometimes
height and speed is a great combination, and you can't teach either.
And sometimes that's what it takes, is just individual players. And in the first half, Deschênes, Duran-Shack put up some phenomenal individual performances for Aera. And in the second half, it's been the Tiffany Wu show. And right now, that's the difference. Aera set to receive 11-10 for Mischief leads. And this is a crucial point. Big pull there. That's Catherine Lee.
Great pull all the way down to the goal line.
to the middle. Prevo. Swings it outside. Nice initiating play. Godere with the disc. Godere doesn't like it. Moves it to the middle.
Bit of a poachy D here by Mischief.
Dranjak with the disc. Dranjak. A little inside break. Beautiful throw.
Big shot to the goal. Oh, great D there by number 16, Emma Young. No, that was not Emma Young. That was 18, Olivia Fast.
Fast with the disc, looking upfield. There's Young, tracking it down. Makes a nice grab up line. Ooh, she had cutters in motion, but just didn't hit them. Nice cut back there. That's 22. Celine Huang upfield. Wants the up line, can't get it. Emma Young climbs back, gets the disc. Resets it. A steady center handler today, Emma Young. Bends one in.
With a floater.
Oh, and it connects.
Comes down.
Mischief, everything going their way. That's Joy Chen.
Yeah. That's tough play there for Natalie Michaud. She was in great position. She read the disc is coming a little bit shorter, ran right underneath, and it floated right over top of her.
And there's Chen, and that's a huge goal here. 12-10 with not much time remaining.
Yeah.
Aera's going to have to pull out all the stops if they want to take this one. Mischief has exploded in the second half.
That's right, Kevin. If you recall, it was 8-5 for Aera at half, so it's a nice 7-2 run here for Mischief.
Their defensive unit has stepped up, and it's also been coupled by a few sort of uncharacteristic plays by the Aera squad. We saw Deschênes there just taking her eye off the disc in the last point for a second. And the way Mischief is firing, Aera doesn't really have the luxury to make a bunch of mistakes here.
Now we've had a timeout just called by Mischief. This is a bit more of a strategic timeout here. As I mentioned, we are coming up on the hard cap in this game. There is now 6 minutes to hard cap, and by calling a timeout, you're just wiping 90 seconds off the board. So with the 2-point lead, Mischief is using their timeouts to make this game a little bit shorter. A bit of strategy that comes into play here.
Absolutely. Aera is all set to go. They're already on their line. They want to get this point going.
And Mischief is still in their huddle.
Observers, of course, Josh Drury and Lindsay Pattison. They're taking care of the timing here, so they're not going to get any bonus time at all, but they're ready to go here. And Veronica Ng, coach from Mischief, giving some last-minute advice. There's Vic Lamb as well, providing some strategical sort of points as Catherine Lee is set to pick it up. This Mischief team has been riding a lot of their top players, and as we talked about, there's definitely pros and cons to doing that. We're seeing the pros in the second half is just their studs are going on every point and making phenomenal plays, but we can have the discussion that later on in the tournament it's going to be tough to ride Wu and Lee and Emma Young the entire game.
And offside, the puller just stepped on the line, and observer Lindsay Pattison was all over that one. So that's the third offside of the game for Mischief. So Aera, who needs to score, gets a nice bonus. They get to bring the disc in right at midfield.
And we saw it last time that happened. They had a nice isolation play, 2-pass goal, and let's see if they can do it again. This is I would like to say, a must-score point for Aera with not much time remaining and trailing by 2. Picks it up in the middle of the field. Deschênes with the disc. A strike. Nice isolation play. Proteau with the disc on the far sideline.
It's actually Robert.
Robert looking upfield. Deschênes covered in the bail position. Lacombe with the disc. Lacombe, big fakes. Wants the open side.
Scrambly stack there for Aera.
Hits the
Great break force throw. Pepin.
Robert with it on the close side. Breaks the force.
shot.
Can it stay in bounds?
Not quite.
Just a little bit too far for LaRoche tracking that one down. Mischief does have to go the full 70 here, though. That was pretty crisp O until the very last point there. As we've seen a few too many times, I think, from Aera, is moving the disc very well upfield, and then it's just one miscue, and Mischief takes advantage.
That's right. Sometimes you get into the end zone, you just got the eyes for the prize and try to force in for the goal. Sometimes it just makes a little bit more sense to hold on, find a nice little handler cut, and make the easy throws to the end zone. Is that a foot block, Kevin?
I'm not sure. It was
foul was called.
Looks like there
was a bit of contact there.
Looks like there's some contact. I was watching the downfield cutters. The Mischief cutters were in great motion really early. We're going to take a listen and see what the call is here. Looks like it's just
uncontested uncontested foul. So must have got contact with the arm.
Zoe Luke resets the disc. Catherine Lee with the disc. Not much good coverage. Swings it to the middle. Coe. and just misses her receiver on the far side, aiming for Tiff, who just couldn't quite get there. And Aera has a short field, Deschênes to pick up. Deschênes with the disc. Disc tapped in, Lacombe in the bail position. Trying to isolate.
Carol LaRoche. Got her there with a great break throw.
Looks open side. Just off the fingertips of Bisson. And that might just be the story of the game for Aera, is just too little, not quite connecting on their shots, even though they've played some really solid offense.
Yeah, every couple of those, everything executed well, and just dropped the last one. Looking for the deep one. Here it comes. Oh, but the...
Good positional defense there by Godert.
Bit of a push there by Tiffany Hu. It would have been interesting if Godert would have called foul if Hu had come down with it.
Now Aera, led by Deschênes, has to go about 55 yards here. Lacombe in the bail position. Beautiful swing. Not to no one, though. And Mischief has a chance to go up 13-10. Catherine Lee with the disc right on the brick mark in the center of the field. Surveying. Lee not liking what she's seeing, but she breaks inside. Not connected. And it's getting a little sloppy here down the line. Players might be showing a little bit of fatigue from this first morning game. And it's just, really basic errors. So misplays, drops, throwaways, and miscommunications. But they're going to want to tighten that up as the game goes on and as the tournament goes on. Nice defensive pressure there.
We're coming up on 1 minute to hard cap. So if Aera wants any chance, they need to score this point before the hard cap horn goes off. Otherwise, Mischief will have won the game.
Catherine Lee airs it out and reels it in on the back corner.
It's a goal. That's the score to make it 13-10 for Mischief.
That was Zoe Luke right at the back of the end zone. One-handed grab, making sure she stayed in. 13-10, 3-point deficit for Aera. It's tough to see them making up this time, making up this point differential with the time remaining.
Well, there's 30 seconds left, Kevin. So what's going to happen here is before the pull goes off, the horn is going to go. They will play out this point. It may matter in an event of a tiebreaker for score differential. So they will both play it hard. But Mischief has now can settle in satisfactorily knowing that they have won the game.
And I think the story of this second half has been Mischief's defensive unit. They got all the breaks back. They've got 5 breaks in the second half. And with 5 breaks and a half, that's enough to take a commanding lead over this Aera squad, who I thought coming out of the first half was maybe more favored. They looked very, very strong in the first half, and Mischief just answered the bell in the second half with this sort of amazing defense.
Yeah, it was a tactical change by Mischief there, Kevin. As we saw, Mischief came out and hoped to take advantage of the win by putting on their rabbit wall zone, and Aera was very patient and worked their way through it. And once Mischief realized that, they switched to their person-to-person defense, and that definitely was the changing point, as they were able to create a lot more turnovers.
Absolutely, and we heard the horn go, and that signifies the hard cap, and that effectively ends the game as Mischief will win it.
This will be the last point, but again, point differential may come into play if there is a tie in the standings.
Not to mention confidence building here. A solid O point could give Aera a bit more confidence. There's Dranjak airing it out. Ooh, just can't quite check it down. Michaud trying to find it.
Another misread by Michaud. She's had a couple of those in the last few points.
Mischief strolling, has to go 70 yards upwind here. Again, a little left to right breeze on the screen. Nothing that these players can't handle, but it has caused a few discs to bounce when they're not quite getting the extra snap on it. But there's a boost, quickly defended. Swings it out to the far side.
Furlan with the disc.
Swings it to the middle. Coutu to Pilon. Active fakes Pilon.
Great
Emma
deep by Young.
A little misconnection there with Shu. Pilon to pick up. About 25 yards in. Good defensive coverage by Mischief in the lanes. Swings it out to the side. Furlan with the disc. Furlan to the middle. Nice grab there by Dranjak. Great hands. Dranjak upfield. Michaud bends one around. to the back corner. It's just going to drift out of bounds. Again, just maybe attacking the disc a little bit, or attacking the end zone just a bit too much. They had cutters available upfield and just wanted the goal.
Bit of miscommunication there. The one cutter was running to the front corner of the end zone, and the throw went to the back corner.
This is Samantha Koo with the disc. A tough spot to be on this corner with the wind. Koo looking upfield. Proto covering the bail.
Big huck. Looks like
Leanne Campbell airs it out. Oh, excellent defense by Natalie Michaud.
Digging deep.
These points where they, the game is all but done, and they have to fight through these points. These ones can be tricky, Colin.
They can be. Especially at the end of the game. Teams both know that the outcome has been decided. Takes that little bit extra will to just dig deep and finish it strong.
Absolutely. Dion Shu with a block. And that's Young in the middle of the field. Upfield to Shu. We'll flick back to the middle to Young. Young has been a stable handler for Mischief, especially in the second half, commanding the offense. Swings it upfield, that's Koo. Koo with the disc on the far sideline. Wants Young in the middle, Young with a little shimmy. Can't get open. Great coverage by Dron Jacques in the backfield. Hammer over the top.
Lady Hammer!
And it works, and that is the game.
Great catch there for Leanne Campbell.
And that's just, I think that last point was a sort of, an example of what happened all game, and that was
all second half.
A couple turns, and, Aera just didn't quite have it in them to complete it for the goal. They had it by the end zone, couldn't quite cash in, and Mischief went the 70 for the goal. Leanne Campbell making the final catch of the game, but that was just Mischief with an epic second half comeback. Really rolled over and won 10-2 in the second half. Colin, what can we make of their defensive and offensive poise?
I think that this game was won on their defense, Kevin. They switched to the person-to-person defense, created all sorts of turnovers. They still had a lot of turnovers on offense. Once they start playing the Toros, the Alphas, the Mofos of this tournament, they're going to need to cut down on those if they want to have a chance to succeed. But anytime your defense can turn the disc over and get the disc back into your own hands, you're going to have that chance.
Absolutely, and we saw, if we're going to talk about personnel here in the first half, it was the Florence Deschênes, Laura Jacques from Aera really dominating the play, making great upline cuts, great throws from the backfield. Julia Bisson in the downfield with some athletic grabs, cashing in on goals, spreading the assists and goals around, but really just some phenomenal play from Aera. But then the second half flipped the script and welcomed Tiffany Wu to the Canadian Ultimate Championship with 4 goals, an unbelievable performance, really excellent speed, making a bunch of really good reads on the disc, and honestly, like 1 to 2 players makes a huge difference. Emma Young in the backfield, steady.
Great D-line handling out of her.
Absolutely, and just overall solid play by Mischief, taking advantage whenever there was a miscue on Aera's part, and that's our first upset that we see right here on the showcase field. What an amazing game right off the bat to welcome us to this championship. 14-10 is the final score.
There's going to be great games all week. You can catch them here live on the live stream on Sport Canada TV.
Yeah, Sports Canada TV is the broadcast partner. UltimateCanada.tv is where you can find all the games. Our next game today is in the Junior Open Division. That's Mofo versus Misfit. That's going to be an awesome game. A really, really important one there. It's the 4-5 matchup. Expect another beautiful, beautiful game. And we've got a
final game of the day is Toro Bonfire, and I will be observing that game. So
that's right.
If you want to see me in action, tune in for that game. It's the last game of the day. I'm not entirely sure of the time right now, but I'm sure Kevin will be on top of that, and we'll let you keep in touch.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for joining us for this round 1 action from the Canadian Ultimate Championship. We're live all week long from the Ivor Dent Sports Field here in Edmonton, Alberta. We have ourselves a beautiful day with tons of action across the entire division. That was the junior women's. It was 14-10. Aera was defeated by Mischief in this first round matchup. That's the 9 seed upsetting the 8 seed. Could pay off down the line. Absolutely continue to join us on this coverage. Ultimate Canada's broadcast of the CUC 2016. Take care and see you soon.
Cheers.